people keep accusing me of flip-flopping between Trump and Biden. And just to let everybody know, first of all, I don't really think a whole lot of either one of them right now. Trump has always got his foot in his mouth, and Biden's always got his head up his ass. You people out there need to really seriously wake up to what the hell's going on in this country. We raised the debt ceiling several $1 trillion so we can send billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan while you can't afford eggs, milk, and gas and rent. Man, you're fucking slaves to this country. All right? And it's time that you vote somebody in that's going to actually keep their promises. And I want to start off by calling out President Biden and Vice President Harris, okay? Because you all campaigned in 2020 on the platform of prison and justice reform. You were going to fix the war on drugs. You were going to fix all the people that you put in prison and everything else. And all it does is seem to get worse, and more people are coming to prison than getting out of prison. Okay? You need to pass the Safe Detention Act so people that are over 60 and have done half of their time can go home on safe detention. And you need to get rid of all this conspiracy bullshit that the government is arresting people on hearsay. Ask yourselves why the federal government can take you to court and convict you on hearsay, but a state trial, they cannot. Okay? That's something to think about. Why is there no cameras allowed in a federal courtroom, but they are allowed in a state court? Because the feds have so much to hide by lying their asses off in order to fill these prisons, so the people like Bush's and everybody else can make money with Unifor and selling all the products to keep these prisons going. Okay? You got to remember, I've been in here 7 years now, and I'm going to talk, okay? And I have documented so much shit when I get out of here. If I make it out of here alive, I'm going to testify in front of Congress of what's really going on in federal prison. Todd Chrisley, he ain't even seen the fraction of what really goes on. And he's being punished because he spoke out. Wait, just wait. Okay? But I need everybody to get on JoeExoticOfficial.com. Get on the evidence link on the drop-down box and share the videos, okay, of all of the government witnesses admitting to perjury, a plot to kill me, how they break people, how they stole people's identities in order to do bank fraud and wire fraud. And it's insane with the sex trafficking. Even Alan Glover admits that the government agents did not want to talk about the sex trafficking that was going on at that park, okay, with Jeff Lowe and James Garrison. That's where the fake leases and everything in Vegas came in, with a lady named Mimi, okay? It's all there. Please, go read it, go watch the video, go share it. And then get online and do yourself a favor along with me and call out President Biden and Vice President Harris and ask what the hell's going on, okay? We can let out Victor Boot, a world dangerous arms dealer, to bring back somebody from Russia that admitted, okay, pled guilty, mind you, all right? Everybody seems to forget that she got on an airplane, she flew across state lines with hash oil, which is illegal, interstate commerce, and then flew across country, okay, to Russia with the same shit, and were wrongfully detained, okay, because of who we are and what we are, right? But to hell with people in America, right? The hell with that, okay? We're all guilty, okay? But you could go to another country and plead guilty and commit a crime, and Biden's going to trip all over himself to get you out. So let's see if he trips all over himself to help me and other people that are innocent in prison, and we have the evidence to prove that we're innocent. JoeExoticOfficial.com, drop-down box evidence. It's going to shock you when you hear it out of their own voices how they lied and how they rape people. And this is what our government is covering up to keep me in prison. I love you all. Thanks for your support.
Folks, it's been a while since we've done a Tiger Tales. Attorney John Phillips for Joe Exotic. the appeal. So the appeal, it's both of our motions for new trial that have finally been appealed. Judge Polk sat on them for about 2 years, wouldn't say anything, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't allow us to have a hearing. More of the same. I mean, pretty clearly, Joe Exotic's case stretches all the way through a thin line of the federal government that just is trying to push it away, ignore it, because they colluded with Jeff Lowe, James Garrettson, Carol Baskin, and a few others to essentially align with PETA's interests. The Humane Society of the United States was openly and clearly leading a charge to have the chief agent and somebody with the DOJ, Amanda Green, who was the chief prosecutor, prosecute Joe. Not for anything necessarily illegal at the time. They're concerned about a moral issue. They were ahead of their time, obviously, with regard to sensitivity related to cub petting and the movement of cubs. And in some of the email, they specifically talk about how Joe isn't the big violator that they wanted, but Joe was becoming more influential in the streams of movement of animals. Again, this all goes back to protection of tigers years and years and years before. For those that haven't had the chance yet to explore Tiger Tales, that's essentially what these over 600 videos are about. I sat down with James and I sat down with Jeff and collected evidence where they, at a time, they both wanted to have relevance for Tiger King season 2, and both decided to help Joe out in order to get filmed and probably paid by the producers of season 2. So that's all available in Tiger Tales. Came up to Jacksonville, no hotels, no payment, no reimbursement of gas, and no lunch. Sat right here in my office, and went through his affidavit. That's all recorded. That's been uploaded to Tiger Tales. He's mad it was uploaded to Tiger Tales. My recorder was sitting on my desk where we're sitting right here. I referenced the recording that I'm recording. There's a couple of times that we talked about private stuff that we actually turned the recorder off. But it was all handled appropriately. I'm doing an investigation. Like, what do you expect? That I'm not going to use information you tell me for the interest of my client. I don't represent James Garrettson, Alan Glover. I don't know why people think that my duty to Joe Exotic is in any way ever going to be compromised. My goal is to get Joe out of prison. If he deserves to be out of prison, he happens to be deserves to. He was wrongfully convicted. So James did his affidavit. He since told the FBI that he's heard that I'm bribing witnesses, which is a lie, which again shows that James will lie to federal agents. He doesn't care. And James, bragged about how I was going to get $5 million after this case is over if I get Joe out of prison. Look, there's no promise of millions of dollars. Joe and I have a contract. I am getting paid. I have been paid. Jeff brought me into his home and showed me videos and audio recordings and gave me an understanding of what was going on. And I went back to Jacksonville. Actually, I went and visited with Joe, told him what was going on, and then went back to Jacksonville. And got ready for what I anticipated was a dump of information. Well, then the feds came in and seized more of Jeff's stuff. And so before they got to his computers and telephones and all of that, he flew to Jacksonville and brought videos and videos and photos and audio recordings upon audio recordings, and gave us a backup. So text messages, emails, nearly everything, with the understanding that we would go through it for purposes of exoneration of Joe Exotic, and then look to investigate the federal government misconduct, because at some point it is systemic. So that's how the relationship with Jeff Lowe, who was the first witness I spoke with, related to the exoneration of Joe Exotic, took place.
And he did. You just didn't know you did. Yeah, I didn't know he did. I did. Everybody had, we'll get into this, but everybody had various guns to their head and pressure on them. Yeah. And it was all the dance that was pre-orchestrated by Brian, Green, Dan Ash, all the whoever. Yeah. I'm going to ask you about kind of some of the history of it. Yeah. But I didn't know what being played. And then when I was told different things, like when I heard somebody was collecting souvenirs of Joe's upstairs, and they would never tell me who it was. So somebody up above was pushing buttons on Matt Bryant, because he was talking to me like he was all stressed out. My boss or whatever. Amanda Green was on so many of the messages early on too, and she was the one that loved the drug use. She's now a federal judge. Yeah, which is scary. And she's not the appointed kind of federal judge. She's the magistrate, and magistrates are chosen by other federal judges essentially, which is kind of scary for me, because now you got to look at as a judge, and then you got Matt Bryant. I think he's above somewhere. And like I said, I tried to reach out to him last week, and he never responded. Yes, he let Jeff hold. He kept walking Jeff through. You're going to be fine. You're going to be protected. You're going to be blah blah blah. And then of course now they're after Jeff. But it's Matt's guys. Matt leads that. Correct. Yeah. So that's. But I mean, that leader calls the shots. That's scary, because that's just like somebody was putting pressure on the fishing game down here to pull my skis over every damn day, and I was getting excited.
So what James and I were discussing there was the fact that, and you got to understand, Amanda Green was the chief prosecutor. She was working alongside a law enforcement official named Matt Bryant, who was with Fish and Wildlife. There's emails dating back to 2014, 2015, where Amanda Green and Matt Bryant were on messages with Carol Baskin and Howard Baskin and PETA and people that would become bigwigs in the animal rights movement, stalking Joe Exotic. They previously had run James out of Florida when he had a traveling tiger show in a tractor trailer, and had run Jeff out of his operation in South Carolina, where he basically ran a flea market, and then had tigers in it, and they were constantly on Jeff. And in fact, Jeff told one of the original documentary crews that he was going to do to Carol what she did to one of her husbands.
Jeff told me he lived in South Carolina. He owned a liquidation business, reselling the stuff that people returned to Walmart. But his real passion, he told me, was raising tigers and lions. About a year earlier, he had started collecting big cats, and he kept them in a huge warehouse, alongside the forklifts and cardboard boxes full of patio furniture. Now, he was looking to team up with Joe. There was a property next to the zoo that he had his eye on.
I said, I can buy the property for $100,000, 10 acres. We put a whole big breeding facility, beautiful place over there. Yeah.
He said he planned to buy the land and build what he called a whole big breeding facility. It turned out he and Joe shared more than just an interest in tigers. A few years back, Jeff had planned to open a cub petting zoo in South Carolina. But Jeff said someone had started an online petition about him, complaining that his tigers were in small cages. Eventually, the county blocked him from showing exotic cats. Guess who's behind it, he said. Carol Baskin.
She's the devil incarnate.
Jeff claimed he found her cell phone number and called her up.
Listen, you bitch. I'm not Joe Shiloh. I don't go from paycheck to paycheck. I said, I will sue your ass.
I will sue your ass.
And I said, and if I lose, I'll do to you what you did to your husband.
And if I lose, I will do to you what you did to your husband.
So what we discovered after years of investigation is Jeff had all the motivation in the world. And the other thing that James talks about in the clip that we showed was how Alan Glover became involved, and that they kept it away from James about how Alan was actually Jeff's guy. Right?
The 2015 email contact, that's kind of disturbing. Did you not know about that? No. I feel like a lot of this stuff, I feel like I've been played a lot because, like, I didn't know Alan Glover and Jeff Lowe were fighting. Nobody ever told me that. All I was is to go in there, ask certain questions, and I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Like, I didn't know he was a long-term employee. And then every day I think, well, man, I think Jeff Lowe instilled all this in his brain because I know he coached him on what to say. Because Jeff Lowe told me, he basically, yeah, no, Alan, you were in Florida. You were in Florida, you know, and a lot of this stuff, Alan plays too.
Tiger King season 2, at the very end, Alan Glover confesses and admits that he planned to use a piece of steel wire to clothesline and kill Joe, and Jeff, knew about the plan and was partners of his with the plan. So that there was a planned hit on Joe before Carol. And of course, none of that came in at trial.
It was going to be a problem after if he got rid of Joe dropped dead, or he knew I was going to have Joe's head cut the fuck off. I was going to fucking hook him up with a pea and a fucking wire.
What do you mean?
I was going to stretch it across where he goes with his four-wheeler, like about 30 fucking mile an hour.
So you and Jeff, prior to this whole thing going down, talked about killing Joe.
Yeah. Nobody knows that, but you know.
Including tying a wire around a tree so that he...
I know the wire is still at the park, right behind where I lived in the trailer. It's still laying back there. I got rid of it. Well, I got rid of it, but nevertheless. It's like a piano wire. You can't see it.
Yeah.
He'll cut your fucking head off.
Fuck.
Whether it hits you in your chest or what, it's still going to get to your neck. He knew about that shit.
Okay.
I even walked in there and showed him where it was going to happen. This don't make me look good at all.
No, but I can't say trust me. It is what it is.
He wanted Joe gone.
And the other name you hear about in Tiger Tales is Ashley Webster. So Ashley was essentially an intern brought to the park by Jeff and Lauren Lowe, and she's not there very long, but Tim Stark later teams up with Ashley Webster. She accuses the Lowes of raping her, and Webster actually winds up in Alan's trailer, and Alan says that he had sexual relations with Ashley. Ashley denies it. But where this all gets even more interesting is the first person to call law enforcement and accuse Joe of wanting a hit on Carol Baskin was Ashley Webster. So here, Ashley Webster, the first person to report that there was this hit out there, that Jeff and Joe wanted to commit also happened to sleep with the hitman. And as Jeff says in my interview with him, that was a real sensitive issue with the feds, and they did not want that disclosed, because once Jeff found out that the Ashley and Alan had slept together, he texted Bryant, and Bryant said, whoa, don't put that in writing. Again, not in the trial. The fact that witnesses had the ultimate of tampering and collusion and relationships and rape and, all of this deviant behavior between all of the government's witnesses. Shh.
I see your text. Oh my God, Alan had sex with Ashley Webster. She lived in this trailer.
Can I see what he said?
No more texting.
Which was the first time he'd ever done that. I'm thinking, oh shit, this must be a hot
Yeah, he
button.
called, he said, I remember he called me just shortly after. He says, they can, they were talking about, so they can subpoena my phone for text messages.
Which I don't even know that they have to subpoena. That gets into the Brady stuff, which you know better than I do, but to some extent, witness handling.
He says you can't put that kind of stuff. He was a little perturbed because it's always on speaker when he calls. He was a little perturbed. He goes, Lauren, you can't say that kind of stuff on a text message. He says, because Joe's attorneys have access to any of my text messages. So that was when he schooled us on, if you have something that's critical or sensitive, do not text it. So we were always afraid after that point, what do we share with text? Right. So you'll see a lot of the progression of our communication as a Matt, call me, ASP, 911, call me.
Well, you know why she filed the rape charges, right? Because Tim Stark told her that he saw a picture of her naked on Jeff's bed. But Tim Stark will say anything to get Jeff because he hates Jeff. Yeah. So that's what started all this. And then she Ripper made her go file a police report.
Really?
Interesting.
Because Ripper, you hear this from me, because I know, and I don't talk to him anymore, really. I talk to him like one time.
Really? Anytime you say really,
no, I really don't talk to him anymore. Because so he was sending the police report number, or when they give you a deal saying you take a police report, and they were waiting for the actual real report to be filed, but he was trying to get on TMZ.
So if what you've heard isn't enough, now they're trying to throw rape charges on Jeff Lowe, they being Tim Stark and to some extent Don Lewis's family's video game detective that was in season 2 are trying to create relevance for themselves by trying to convince Ashley Webster that she was potentially raped by Jeff Lowe, and then you have other recording where Lauren Lowe accuses Jeff of raping somebody. It's all just below ground disgusting.
You're a slut, Lauren.
I'm not.
You just won't be a slut when I want you to be a slut. It's only when you want to be a slut. When you want to fuck when you fuck Tyson. When you want to fuck with Tyson, it's okay.
I don't want to.
You did too. You lying cunt. I watched you spread your fucking legs and stick them in his face. You lying bitch.
Because I was on drugs.
Get fucking
Stop. Stop. Jeff.
Fucking
Stop.
drugs now.
Stop.
You fucking cunt. Let go of me.
Ow, let go.
Let go of my fucking hair. Other guys in our relationship.
That has nothing to do with looking for directions
does, Lauren.
home.
Yes, it does. When I want it to happen, it should fucking happen. Not just you. Because then it's all about you. Then it really hurts me.
Because I haven't had any drugs, you know that.
I tried to give you the drugs, right?
And it didn't work because you
Because you didn't take enough.
Because you bought shit.
Because you didn't take enough. Let's just end this. Let's just fucking end it.
Please don't speed through here.
Let's just end it, okay?
Look at me.
What?
You think I want to leave you? You think I want to just look at me?
What?
You think I want to leave you? You think I want to just go randomly fuck all these guys?
No, I want you to fuck these guys so I can watch. I don't think you want to do it. I think you should do it because I want you to do it. Because you cheat on me, because you lied to me. I think you should do anything that I ask you to do because it pleases me.
Whether it just puts me through so much sorrow.
Please me. Give me a break. Does it really? Does sex that feels good hurt you?
But what if it makes me feel uncomfortable?
You know what? So does being with you. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Shut up.
I don't have one, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, you do.
You're a rapist.
Fuck you.
You've raped 2 girls.
Did you hear her ask me to fuck you? Fuck me, daddy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you hear fuck me, daddy? Did you hear fuck me, daddy?
Because, oh my God, if he did, that's so wrong. And it
Did
should
you
not
hear
have
fuck me,
happened.
daddy?
No,
you walked in the room. You
didn't.
watched it, so I guess that makes you an accomplice.
I didn't.
And we'll go through one more wrinkle that is in the motion for new trial, and that's the ID. So in order to have a valid murder for hire, they had to have several pieces of fundamental evidence. And one that they introduced was that Alan Glover went to Texas to be interstate. So left Oklahoma, went to Texas, which makes it a federal crime, to get an ID to then use in the murder for hire plot. And they reference that it kind of comes back by James Garretson, but you know what Jeff reveals and what we find out is, in the next little pieces you'll see, is the fact that James was the fake ID guy and the fake idea guy. And second, James' whole being is made up of credit fraud. And in fact, that's how he ultimately funded his original jet ski business. So, you know, you'll see why these guys want to discredit me and discredit Joe, because it brings back their credibility when they have none, by saying that, you know, I'm a terrible human who does all these crimes. Well, it just so happens I'm licensed in 8 states, have never, been convicted of any crime, any malpractice, any bar violation, but you know, they want me down at their level so that they have credibility and I don't. It is what it is. They were the ones that actively turned over their phones, which revealed recordings of them conducting credit fraud. So all of this, again, kept out of trial.
James Garretson was the source for the fake ID. I mean, we know that, right?
Right.
It was his contact at some print shop down in Dallas that was giving him the fake IDs for all of his false credit card IDs.
Yeah.
Like James would pull a picture of a Chinaman off of the internet, and it would build a Justin Chow ID, and he get state IDs. He couldn't get driver's licenses because they were too difficult, but he would get state IDs, one for Justin Chow, one for Corey Klang was another one, Corey Klang. And I actually have someplace in the shit you copied pictures of utility bills and insurance payments that James Garretson was paying insurance to for car insurance for one of his employees that Lauren knows, and it came out of Corey Klang's PayPal account.
Chase and tell them you're in a divorce with your wife, and they'll mail you another card. They'll even overnight it.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even think of nothing like that. I thought it was like dead in the water, because I thought that like somebody had to actually be able to get the card.
No, you just redirect it. That's easy.
Okay, and I do again apologize about that wait. So I do have the Staples account pulled up. And what is your name?
My name is Moab King.
And the company name and zip code?
Wake Zone Leasing Incorporated 73401.
Okay, thank you. And I am so sorry. How can I help again?
Yeah, I'm trying to add somebody to the account, a person that works with me.
Okay, so somebody is an authorized user. And what is their first and last name and date of birth?
James Garrettson, Garretson.
Man, so I was trying to meet up with you.
For what?
Because I miss your butt.
You have any schemes?
What you want me to do?
I don't know. See if we can find me a goddamn person to get some jet skis on James Woods.
Okay.
With that ID.
What a tangled web we weave, right? Well, what we also found out is that when Jeff fled to Vegas to try to distance himself from this Carol Baskin hitman scheme, he actually had terrible credit or otherwise didn't want law enforcement to know where he was living. And guess whose name appeared on his lease? One of James's fake IDs. And so, Jeff wants everybody to think that he has nothing to do with James's fraud, and James, wants to distance himself from Jeff, all until recent, because they hated each other until they needed to team up against Joe again. But they committed fraud together, even in this leasing situation. So, again, and there's countless videos on Tiger Tales where James is perpetuating this fraud, teaching people about fraud, trying to get free jet skis. All the while, he's literally testifying at Joe's trial, and then gets paid, I think, $3,000 to $5,000 by Eric Good as soon as he's done testifying to be interviewed for Tiger King. So none of this stuff was at Joe's trial. All of it is in Tiger Tales. You can judge for yourself, but regardless, Joe needs a new, fair trial. So that's what's going on with Joe's case.